So in the last class, we discussed with the introduction to the banking and all banking services, or what is the functions performed by the RBI, like that. So we finished the first module and we are going to start the second module with that. So today we are going to discuss with the reforms or the activities with regard to in the banking sector or the banking field. What are the new technologies adopted? Like that in the second module we are going to see. So I'm going to share with you the screen. So, innovations and the reforms in the banking sector. What are the reforms or what are the new technology? What are the new innovations that is to be adopted in the banking sector? So, after the nationalization, the Indian banking industry has witnessed a tremendous development. The Indian banking industry has witnessed a tremendous development, and the class banking was replaced by mass banking. Too many banks activities or too many banks are to be involved, as well as the implemented or the sectors to be reformed, like that. The concept of the private priority sector advances was introduced to uplift the poor. The attainment of the statutory benchmark under different segments was insisted by the Reserve Bank of India. A vast branch expansion program was envisaged and implemented. Consequent to the growth and development took place in the banking industry, the task of such management became a challenging one. The Government of India and the Indian Banks Association felt the necessity of introducing the mechanization in banks. Thus, banks in India started computerization in their branches and are introducing electronic banking, e-banking system. So, what is an e-banking? That is banking through electronic mode. That is the e-banking that you are aware. So we will go into deep with regard to this. So what is an electronic banking? E-banking is a revolutionary development in the field of modern banking, as it is the use of computers to carry out the banking transaction, like through, what is that, in the previous era there was none. Through the technological advancement, this is happening. So that is the e-banking, the electronic banking, using the computers to carry out business or banking transactions. E-banking includes systems that enable the financial institution, the customers, the individuals, or the businesses to access the account, transact the business, or obtain information on financial products and services through public or private network, including the internet. So through the internet, either the public or the private network, whatever be the thing, through such things, we need to pass the entries or pass the what is that, banking transactions. So that is the case of electronic banking or e-banking. So what are the definition with regard to that? Excuse me. Electronic banking refers to a banking system whereby banking services and products are made available to the customers through equipments, electronic channels or equipments. It removes the customer constraints regarding branch location, the timings, the geographical boundaries, the access mode, and settlement. It means it ensures the value-added services for basic banking requirement. അതായത് നമ്മൾ ബാങ്കിന്റെ മുമ്പിൽ ക്യൂ നിൽക്കുകയോ സമയം നോക്കുകയോ ജോഗ്രാഫിക്കൽ ഇന്ന ഏരിയയിൽ പോയി മാറണോ ഒന്നും വേണ്ട. ത്രൂ computer or through our mobile phone itself. Nowadays, we are using this segment. So, internet banking or e-banking or whatever be the facility, like for this one, for SBI, there is Yono SBI. We can quick pay the cash to the beneficiary, like that, isn't it? Any account is having, even no need of the beneficiary having the same bank, isn't it? They are catching through the electronic only need the mobile number need to link with the bank account. That is the case. So that is e-banking. E-banking or virtual banking is defined as an electronic payment system that enables the customer of a bank or other financial institution to conduct a range of financial transactions through the website of the bank or the financial institution. So either through the bank or through the any financial institution, we can transfer money or whatever the transaction to be there between banks or financial institutions can be done through electronic mode of payment. So that is the case with the e-banking. It enables the customer to perform the basic banking transactions by sitting at their office or at homes through viewing their account details through personal computer or the laptop. The customers can access the bank's website for viewing their account details and perform the transactions on account as per the requirement. Customers are being provided with additional delivery channels which are more convenient to the customers and are cost effective to the banks. These delivery channels includes either the ATM or the telebanking or the internet banking or the mobile banking, etc. Thus, e-banking facilitates the banking transactions by the customers round the clock globally. So, electronic clearing services, electronic fund transfer, real-time gross settlement, core banking, etc. are the latest electronic banking services that are introduced by the banks in India. So now you understood what is an electronic banking and what are the facilities that are adopted in through electronic banking. Then, what are the dimensions of the e-banking? Next, we are going to see that dimensions of the e-banking. So between customer to bank, customer to customer, like that, that is the e-banking dimension. So C to B, that is e-banking, customer to towards the bank. E-banking is basically internet-based banking. Under the system, banking products and services such as deposit, remittances, credit card, etc., credit card payment, okay, etc., as well as all the important banking information can be made available with the easy access to the customers on internet through mobile phone itself, isn't it? ലാപ്പ് വേണമെന്നില്ല, നമുക്ക് മൊബൈൽ ഫോണിൽ കൂടി തന്നെ എന്ത് ചെയ്യാം, ഇ ബാങ്കിങ് നടത്താം. കസ്റ്റമർ ബിറ്റ്വീൻ കസ്റ്റമർ ആൻഡ് ബാങ്ക്, isn't it? Customers can make use of this facility as at any time without any queue or waiting. ഒരു ക്യൂവോ ഒരു വെയിറ്റിങ്ങോ ഒന്നുമില്ലാതെ, ചില കേസിൽ നെറ്റ് പ്രോബ്ലംസ് ഉണ്ട്, ആ ഒരു ഇത് മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. അതർവൈസ് ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് വെരി ഈസി. വി കനോട്ട് വെയിറ്റ് or we can't wait on queue for doing the banking transaction. Only thing is, it will not be printed in our passbook like that. We need to go to the bank later and then, but if the mobile number is linked with that, then not a problem also. We will get electronic bank statement also. Several network innovations for e-banking can be visualized, such as smart card, electronic data interchange, etc. are there. So that is B2C or C2B, that is customer to bank, that is the e-banking. Then second is bank to bank e-banking. Means what? One bank to be transferred the money to another bank through electronic mode. That is the B2B e-banking, bank to bank e-banking. This form of electronic banking is for transacting interbank transactions. That is between the banks, the transactions are to be there. Bank to bank e-banking is operated through extranets, which is restricted to the banks only. Hence, it is well secured and unauthorized access is less. അതായത് ബിറ്റ്വീൻ ദ ബാങ്ക്സ് ടു ബാങ്ക്, ബാങ്ക് ഒഫീഷ്യൽസിന് മാത്രമേ അതിനകത്ത് എൻട്രി ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് പാസ്വേഡ് പ്രൊട്ടക്ട്. ദിസ് ഓൾസോ ഈസ് പാസ്വേഡ് പ്രൊട്ടക്റ്റഡ്, ബട്ട് ബിറ്റ്വീൻ ദ ബാങ്ക്സ് നോ കസ്റ്റമർ ഈസ് ഇൻവോൾവ് ഇൻ ദാറ്റ്. So that is B2B e-banking. Then electronic central banking, another one. Electronic central banking is the one where all the banks within the purview of a central bank are interconnected on extranet to facilitate the clearing of checks, management of the cash reserves, open the market operations, discounting of bills, etc. So that is the electronic central banking. In fact, the central bank has to be connected with the government treasury on the extranet to carry out its functions as an agent of the government. The central banks of all countries can be interlinked with the International Monetary Fund also through this procedure, electronic central banking. World Bank and other international financial institutions through using the extranets, not the internet or the intranet. So other between the banks, central bank in the core functioning in electronic central bank. Then intranet procurement. So these are the dimensions with regard to the e-banking: customer to the bank, bank to the bank, electronic central banking procedure, and intranet procurement. For the transactions that are internal to a bank, between the bank and its branches and subsidiaries, intranet procure of banking is required. So intranet facility, internet alla, intranet. Okay, so that is the four dimensions with regard to the banking, e-commerce, or the e-banking facility, not e-commerce, e-banking facility, electronic banking facility, that is between the customer to the bank, C to B, between the bank to the bank, B to B, and electronic central What is that? Electronic central banking facility and intranet procurement. So what are the e-banking transactions that we are going to see? Though any type of transactions can be handled through e-banking, in the initial phase, most of the basic banking transactions can be performed conveniently through internet banking. Following are some of the basic functions as account inquiry. We need to check the balances, that is account inquiry, fund transfer, payment of the electricity, water, telephone bill, etc. KSEB isn't it? Water bill, telephone bill, everything, every utility services we need to have undergone. Then online payment of the transaction actually performed through internet, request for insurance issuance of checkbook, draft, etc., statements of accounts, access to the latest schemes, അതായത് അതിന്റെ പ്രൊമോഷണൽ ആക്ടിവിറ്റീസ് ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ പാർട്ടിൽ നോക്കിയാൽ കിട്ടും, access to the rates of interest and other service charges, etc. So these are the facilities with regard to the e-banking facilities or e-banking thing. Next is the models for e-banking. What are the models with regard to? That is complete centralized solution, cluster approach, and high-tech bank within the bank. Within the bank, there's a high-tech banking facility and also cluster approach and complete centralized solution. So these are the three approaches with regard to or models with regard to e-banking. That is completely centralized solution, cluster approach, and high-tech bank within the bank. So what are these? First one, complete centralized solution, CCS. This is an ideal branch network model on which e-banking activities can be implemented uniformly and effectively. Under this, bank has to provide a web server with the bank and the requisite software which is connected to the main server. അതായത് എസ് ബി ഐയുടെ മെയിൻ ബ്രാഞ്ചിൽ അതിന്റെ ഒറിജിനൽ സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കും, വെബ് സെർവർ ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കും. That is to be linked with the software. So once the required hardware and the software are set in, customers can access the web server for their basic banking operation using any standard browser at any location. വീട്ടിൽ ഇരുന്ന് തന്നെ നമുക്ക് ഇതിന്റെ സൈറ്റുമായിട്ട് കണക്ട് ചെയ്ത് നമുക്ക് തന്നെ ട്രാൻസാക്ഷൻ വി നീഡ് ടു അണ്ടർഗോ. സോ നമ്മുടെ അക്കൗണ്ടുമായിട്ട് അത് ലിങ്ക് ആയിരിക്കും, നമ്മുടെ നമ്പറുമായിട്ട്. We can go through the transaction, this one, and also we will get the statement after being passed the transaction, the balance, reducing the balances, and like that we will get the statement. The following are the features of a complete centralized solution. The entire system software data for the entire bank, etc., are stored in a centralized server with its hot standby server being placed different location. പലയിടത്തും അതിന്റെ എന്തുണ്ട്, that a centralized system, centralized server system is there. So the entire system software should be maintained, the data for the entire bank, ആ ബാങ്കിനെ പ്രതിനിധിക്കുന്ന full information അത് through computerized ആയിരിക്കും, stored in a centralized server. Central serverൽ സ്റ്റോർ ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നു with its hot standby server being placed in different locations. പല ലൊക്കേഷൻ ബ്രാഞ്ചസിൽ ആ മെയിൻ സെർവറിന്റെ ഹോട്ട് സ്റ്റാൻഡ് ബൈ അതിന് പകരമായിട്ടുള്ള ഈക്വലന്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള സെർവർ ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ടു ബി there. They are connected through high speed and efficient network also. That is the first step. Then branches are provided the online nodes to receive requests from the customers and provide them services across the counter. Either they can provide the services across the counter or through the mobile banking system. So that is the case. Branches are provide online nodes to receive the request from the customer and to provide them the services across the counter. The nodes provided at the remote branches are connected through effective satellite links with enough redundancy to provide reliability as well as adequate bandwidth also. And the skilled manpower is required only at the centralized location. Main locationil മാത്രമാണ് skilled manpower is required. അതാണ് ഒരു കേസ്. That transaction through the internet or the e-banking, there less manpower is required. So this is the centralized which approach? Centralized, complete centralized solution. Next is the cluster approach. Under this model, computerized branches of each city are connected with a regional processor located at each such city. ഓരോ സിറ്റിയിലും ഓരോ പട്ടണത്തിലും ഉള്ള റീജിയണൽ പ്രൊസസ്സറുമായിട്ട് ഓരോ ബ്രാഞ്ച്, കമ്പ്യൂട്ടറൈസ്ഡ് ബ്രാഞ്ച് ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ടു ബി മെയിൻ ബ്രാഞ്ചുമായിട്ട് ലിങ്ക് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നു. They are often connected through reliable media to a centralized high server. Under such an approach, it is necessary that an integrated computerization is available at all the branches so that connectivity amongst the various branches can be established through regional clusters. Most of the branches are computerized in an integrated way through such a network or Unix server is there. The features with regard to the cluster approach are entire branch network of the bank should be computerized through integrated software. That is computerized branch area. Okay, then all these branches should be interconnected with the regional servers through reliable network media. Through the reliable network media, that is the interconnected, all the branches should be interconnected with the regional servers through reliable network media. So we go through what are the models with regard to the e-banking, then what are the e-banking transactions there, then the dimensions of the e-banking like a C2B, B2B, and the computerized central banking system, and also we see what is that, the intranet procurement, and what is an e-banking. Today we see with the starting with this one. So please have a go. Please go through with these what I taught you in this class, in this session. So please have a look at this, and please, if there is any doubt arising, please clear it off. Thank you for the day.